But there we go. So this is the Grand Seiko Limited Edition SLGB005 Iced Forest. I keep on reading this as Violent Dawn, which would actually make it more interesting.
They just wanted a purple color.
Well, yes, they wanted a purple color, and they spun the wheel, and it landed on purple that day, or however they choose.
Grand Seiko should do what Panerai did and create these experiences. If you buy this watch for not 12 grand, but 52 grand, they would take you to whatever region and take you out in the forest and have you like enjoy this breathtaking moment with the watch. And then there would be like 15 dudes or women or whatever.
It's like bird watching, but there's just no animals.
Our clapping this week, we'll just go straight to the clapping this week. Our clapping this week is because it finally happened. It happened, gents.
Something
happened. It happened.
Finally. I've been waiting for it.
It rained in Scotland? What were you talking about?
Sunshine Scotland. Okay. Is the restaurant Wagamama's, is that a universal thing, or is it just a UK thing, Wagamama's?
Is that appropriate to say around kids?
Yeah, this is a family show, Rick. I don't think you definitely don't go eat there.
Wagamama's is a kind of, I don't know, what would it be
defined as? You sure you want to define it?
Yeah, well, I'm going to try and not get cancelled doing it. So it's kind of noodles and noodle bar type thing and that kind of stuff. Anyway, finally
what kind of noodles?
Happened.
Wait, what kind of noodles? Asian, Italian?
Asian noodles. So it's things like with tofu and yeah. What I can't even think what I even have from it. Is it kind of like a ramen type thing? Yeah, that's.
I'm so wondering what this has to do with watches. That's the kind of vibe. The anticipation is so high.
Somebody said, "Hey, dude, cool watch. What's that?" It's only taken 10 years of wearing a Panerai for someone to go, that's a cool watch. What is it? So round of applause to that. Round of applause to that man.
Round of applause to Panerai. Someone is looking at a Panerai and doesn't know it. That's how much they've fallen off. That's like, they only make 2 watches. You can't recognize one of them?
No, the guy wasn't a watch guy. He just thought, that looks cool.
Does that object tell the time, sir?
What is that?
It appears to do something of the sort.
Your crown's hanging out over there, buddy.
Tell me, what do I do with the 2 big hands?
Is that watch broken? What's the thing sticking out the side?
Was it a salesperson?
No, it was a table server. I was waiting to pick up a meal. I also discovered that the word carry out is not universal. Because I said we're going for a carry out. What do you call food when you go somewhere in America and you order it and then you remove it from the premises to eat it?
I realize our term makes less sense than the European term. The European term is takeaway, which makes more sense. Ours is take out, which actually makes less sense than takeaway.
All right, ours is carry out in Scotland, so we combine the 2 together.
Can't you just say out?
Out. We're just out. Anyway.
Carry me out and take the food with.
Yeah. Anyway, so I round of applause. Come on. I clap the Panerai. Yeah, there we go. Clap the Panerai, man.
You've been noticed, Rick. Acknowledged.
I've been acknowledged.
You're legitimate now.
How far into the history of Italian divers did you get before he said, "Sir, this is a what? Wag your mama? What was that place called?
Wagamama's.
Yeah, sir, this is a Wagamama's. No, I was just being polite.
I embarrassed myself. I didn't go Italian. I didn't go. Okay, guess where I went to?
Sylvester Stallone.
You got it, boyo. Sylvester Stallone. I went made famous by Sylvester Stallone. It was fashionable in the 90s, and here I am in 20 something.
So that's what you said to the guy?
Yeah.
The first thing you say is, do you know that like 30 years ago Stallone was wearing one of these?
Yeah. That's where I went. I was so flummoxed by the notion of somebody observing a watch and going, "Hey, cool watch, dude." I immediately went Sylvester Stallone rather than anywhere else. So
did you just mutter out Stallone? He's like, "Are you Stallone?"
I am
Sylvester. Is that you?
David, are you there this morning? We have no image of you.
It's like a seance.
We're checking in. Yeah, I have him listed in the appearance, but he doesn't. Oh no, he's coming back. There we go. David is back in the lobby, but no image. So there we go.
You say his name 3 times into the webcam, and you will summon him.
Summon David. So that's been my week. How has your respective weeks been, gentlemen? Ariel?
Oh gosh.
Anything as good as being observed for wearing a panerai?
I don't have a panerai, so I could never experience the incredible pleasure which is to get your panerai noticed. I will never get maybe in the future. I don't know. I guess I could still own one.
Have you never owned a panerai? Have you ever had one on long-term loan?
Yeah, no one ever noticed it or cared. I was very upset. Remember the first time I wore one on a bracelet even. I was like, someone's ought to know. This is like a pound of steel. But no, no one.
What? Okay. Ripley, what watch have you ever been noticed by a random stranger wearing?
It's never the ones that you would think would be noticed. There'll be like a colorful spinnaker or something like that someone will be like, oh, that's an interesting one. Why? It's yellow. You know, it's never the ones you think, and it's never the one where you want to just launch into the full story. G-Shock, certainly. I think that's probably like by and large the one, because everyone has that touch point in their life. So everyone kind of knows G-Shock as a whole. Then they see an interesting one or like, oh, I didn't know they made that shape, or why does it say Frogman, or it's rainbow colored or something like that. So probably G-Shock, which then you can nerd out and be like, what do you know about samurai armor? Let me tell you, sir.
Has anyone ever been noticed for wearing a Grand Seiko and therefore had to explain anything to do with Mount Iwate? David? Ripley?
I've been on the receiving end of that. A guy was wearing the what's the pink? What's the one? The pink one? The cherry blossom.
So does that mean he offered to explain his Grand Seiko to you?
He was in front of me.
Do you want to know about my pink trees?
Oh, he didn't offer. No, he didn't offer. He was in line to me to get a bagel, and I saw that one. I like that one. If I had to choose one of their 55 seasons, that would be probably on my short list. It looks quite nice. And I said, hey, love your Grand Seiko. I couldn't think of like, Sakura Fubuki or whatever the name that's associated with. And he starts into it. And I'm like, oh, he's been waiting for this. And I let him finish it. I didn't want to cut him short.
And it all started.
Yeah.
Do you know what a watchmaster is?
Yeah. He had flashcards, didn't he? He just, out of his back pocket came the little note cards so he could read it off. He'd been carrying them around.
I thought about cutting him short. I thought about cutting him short, but this doesn't happen often for him. This was a moment. I let him have it. I kind of nodded. I said, oh, yeah, I'm a big fan of the brand. And
I noticed someone's Nomos. I know David's was Nomos, and I made the mistake of noticing their Nomos one time, and I had that same thing. And the first thing they said was like, it's such a good value. It was like, oh, here goes.
Did he say Bauhaus? How many times did he say Bauhaus in the conversation?
None. He didn't say Bauhaus at all. But the gist of it was like, this was the first nice watch purchase. And they did apparently a lot of research, and they really wanted to make sure that they were getting like a legit movement. And they were very excited that other people were excited about it. And they're like, and it's I think they made a weird statement like, it's no more watch than I need. I was like, what?
Oh, that's so nice.
It was not their last collector.
But it's the most communist thing I've heard all week. You know, people used to make Hungary used to be a country full of those exact same type of excuses. It's no more car than I need.
You know what I mean?
It's made of
content. A very particular type of thing. But David, it was go anyways,
David, most random watch conversation you've had with someone who's clearly not a watch guy or girl.
Oh, who's not a watch guy?
Being observed. Watch collector observed in public. Here we are. He is a watch collector in his native environment.
Oh, so he is a watch guy.
You're the watch guy being observed by the general public.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I realized over the last few years that whenever I go to these trips, like the one that I'm on now, and there's dinners happening, I remove myself immediately and entirely from watch conversations. I just don't want to talk about watches anymore. I'm ready to talk about whatever else. So it's difficult. But, whenever, people come up to me or we discuss something, based on your question, what I realized was that I seem to recall a discussion where somebody was wearing something and they had absolutely no idea how expensive or valuable or rare it was. But I will have to dig deeper, to realize, where that happened. Must have been some fun event or something. I don't know.
I gotta make an observation. Oh, go ahead, Ripley.
I was gonna say it happens a lot with vintage Rolex, where the money thing comes into it. The guy might be wearing a really interesting old one. You say nice watch, and they don't really know what it is or what it's worth. And if you have a conversation with them and it comes up, they might be shocked to learn how much it is. They're like, "Really? I bought this for $5,000 way back when." And then the other hand, you see a guy with a Pepsi, and the first thing he says is like, "I spent $30,000 on this," and you're like, "That's not what you should have done with $30,000 at that brand." Like, okay. Wish I didn't ever have this conversation with you. That told volumes. So it happens probably more with Rolex, where that money thing comes up and it goes to two polar opposite sides really, really quick.
So I wanted to talk about something. This is sort of, I guess, a good segue into it. And it's some behavior I've noticed with watch groups and clubs. When I mean groups, like there's like WhatsApp groups where there's a bunch of watch people, or Facebook groups or social media groups or clubs. And I've noticed an interesting tendency where they all sort of just devolve into like people just sharing pictures of watches they're wearing, like nothing, no statements around it. And so, yes, people who like watches want to talk about their watches. And then eventually they find other folks that like it. But rather than actually end up having deep conversations about it, they're just like, "Here's what I'm wearing. Cool, bro. Awesome. Love it. I used to have one like that." And the conversations get so inane and superficial so fast. I wonder if there's anything beyond that. Like, I don't want my watch conversations to devolve into like, "Look what I'm wearing. That's it." Have you guys also noticed that's like, if you have too many people who like it in the same room, that's what they end up doing. There's not even an argument anymore. It's just polite validation of like, hey, I know the world doesn't care, but we do. Yeah, wear your watch. Arguments. Yeah, like I sometimes I'm in some of these groups and I'll just throw in a comment, be like, "What the hell are you doing wearing that?" And then all these people come to the rescue of the wearer, like, "Don't make fun of his watch. He likes it." But
yes, they are all wearing a snowflake. I guess.
That's a good one. But you guys notice that it just sort of like, that's what these groups devolve into. It's just like a bunch of like wrist shots, and you don't know what to do with that. Like, am I supposed to buy those watches too, or feel bad? Am I supposed to show like what I'm wearing or comment? Like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do.
I refuse to join any group that's not prepared to say when somebody posts a watch, "No, actually, you know what? I don't like that watch," where that's seen as being chuck-outable offense. I just don't join the groups, because if somebody posts a watch and is all like, "Yeah, well, it's the best thing ever," and I don't think it is, I feel that it's okay for me to go, "Actually, I disagree with you." And that's when the row normally starts. So I
love when people don't like my watches. I love it.
Yeah.
That's like, I get excited. Oh my God, debate time.
If you would like to join, the aBlogtoWatch weekly WhatsApp group, we do have one. You're going to need to figure out how to convince me to let you join. So maybe email podcasts at aBlogtoWatch weekly with your most vitriolic and abusive, maybe not abusive, maybe that's going a bit too far. But anyway, tell us why Ariel's watches are rubbish, and if you make a really good effort at it, then we'll maybe let you in the group.
The advertisers aren't going to like this one.
Yeah, we don't show them the chat. We will, however, show them this, because this is a message directly in from Grand Seiko. We're going to play early. We're going for an early game of guess the price of the Grand Seiko.
Is another one?
Yeah, no, this is the one you emailed. I'm just going to make sure I try and hide all this stuff. But there we go. So this is the Grand Seiko Limited Edition SLGB005 Iced Forest. I keep on reading this as Violent Dawn, which would actually make it more interesting. But clearly the only reason for looking at that is to figure out why it's the the color is. So give us your best explanation before I scroll down and see the reason that Grand Seiko gave for why this watch is a violet color. Yes.
They just wanted a purple color. That's not enough.
They wanted a purple color, and they spun the wheel, and it landed on purple that day, or however they choose. But because there are only 55 seasons surrounding the Micro Artist Studio, they've gone for times of day, which there are infinite. So if I'm not mistaken, this is sunrise on the birch trees, whereupon as they would have been blue birch at night or in the evening, they are now getting the pale, warm glow of sunrise diffusing through the blue and off the ice, which gives you a purple birch.
It is in their own words, in their own words, it captivates a new dial that expresses the breathtaking moment when dawn breaks over the frost-covered forests of the Shinshu region of central Japan, where all Grand Seiko spring drive watches are meticulously crafted.
Grand Seiko should do what Panerai did and create these experiences. If you buy this watch for not 12 grand, but 52 grand, they would take you to whatever region and take you out in the forest and have you like enjoy this breathtaking moment with the watch. And then there would be like 15 dudes or whatever.
It's like bird watching, but there's just no animals.
Yeah. Oh, it's just aesthetic. The whole thing.
I can see that being kind of a zen moment. People out there with their, their Leicas and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just all sitting wrapped up warm. Maybe you should have to do it in like your national dress, or you have to turn up. You have to turn up with something appropriate. You can't just turn up with the clothes you decided to wear, to sumo wrestler outfit or something.
Why can't you just wear purple?
In the frost.
Only purple. That's the dress code for that. Every single thing has to be purple head to toe.
That's our new watch show. Only
Does Grand
purple.
Seiko need someone like Murakami? I know that he's with Hublot and stuff like that, but I feel like Grand Seiko needs a weirder Japanese personality.
I think Grand Seiko just needs somebody that doesn't work looking at a view of a forest or a mountain.
Are they all in watchmaker prison? Like that's all they have is a view out of their cell?
Yeah, a view that looks at like a car factory or an airport or an oil rig or something industrial. Just anything.
Yeah, so they need some other Japanese sightseer.
Yeah. So guess the price, Ariel. How much are we being asked to pay for this?
Oh my God.
Spring Drive 9R B2. Have a guess in the chat.
Maybe like 12 or 13.
Ripley?
11.3.
And David?
12.5.
And the answer is a limited edition of 1300. 11,100.
Oh. So it's basically almost very similar to the other one that was a completely different kind of watch. And it's like, who is like, you know what? Automatic spring drive, high efficiency, yes. Whatever that was, manually wound, high beat, 5 hertz, something, no. Like, it's... I just want to see their matrix and their like their consumer matrix. Like this person likes this, but definitely doesn't like this. Because why would they want to release 2 similar watches at the same time that would create consumer discomfort? Like if you just got excited about one, you don't want the next one to be something you also like, because then you'll get upset. So they must think that like categorically different people are into these 2 watches.
I mean, that's their whole catalog. Do a blue one. Lighter blue one, now a darker blue one, now do a blue one that is water inspired instead of nighttime frost inspired. Their whole, like, think about how many different versions of the snowflake there are. There's like the baby flake, then you got the mist flake, then you got some other flake.
Aren't there like infinite ones in nature? I mean, come on, they can get away with it forever.
Yeah, this is their whole strategy. Like the problem with all of their watches is it's like I would own any single one of them. They're all made very nicely. They're all very pretty. They're all inspired by the same mountain or lake or time of day or different, they're all so similar that I'd be happy with any of them. I think that's the biggest issue is like the one I liked before, I like almost as much as the new one, which I'm almost going to like as much as the next one. They're all within the same like out of 10 scale for me as well.
So they have no qualms upsetting consumers. They don't mind that Rick gets excited about one on Tuesday, puts down a deposit or something, and then like on Friday, another Grand Seiko comes out that he might want a little bit more, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell? Come on! Like, don't excite me so well." Like that means he's not going to put money down fast anymore. He's going to wait.
Can't
like,
handle the excitement.
I'll look at the last 6 months worth and then decide which one I like the best. I'm just saying, how does that benefit Grand Seiko?
Is there a color that doesn't appear in nature that Grand Seiko can't possibly produce because they can't be inspired by it?
Oh yeah.
They're coming up with like, why is it bright red? Well, sunset on the mountain. Like they will come up with a way.
I believe there's over 16 million colors in Japan alone. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds very scientific.
Well, which is only 3 more than the number of Seasons collections models there are.
Okay, so let's go from that problematic child of we can only be inspired by one thing and everything is a variety to another brand that perhaps suffers a similar type of a problem. Ripley, this is your review of the Doxa some numbers dive watch. In this case, it's the 750T. Does Doxa suffer from the same problem as Grand Seiko?
No, Grand Seiko is making a million different flavors of the same dish of ice cream, and Doxa is making the same flavors, the same like 8 flavors, but in like every different type of bread. You know, it's all bread, but it's like you might not want some for sandwiches or some for other uses, but each one kind of appeals to its own person in the same way that you would want a croissant or a bagel for a breakfast sandwich and probably not with your dinner. That's kind of what they have here. Giant wrist person doesn't want the tiny watch. Tiny wrist person doesn't want the giant watch. Vintage looking person doesn't want the modern one, and etc. So they kind of have the same thing now for everyone. This is basically what Ariel's saying, where it's like all of this except this, they have found an answer for, I think, every possible permutation to that. You want it bigger, you want it thinner, you want it GMT, you want a different color, you want it carbon, but it's all kind of the exact same watch. So this is the 750T, which is now back, and I guess you could call this like a Gen 2. It's the largest Doxa, technically speaking. The 1500T still exists. It's the same footprint, but it's way thicker, like twice the depth rating, hence the difference in number. It's got a helium escape valve. This is really thin. It's 45 millimeters in diameter, but it's thinner than like the standard 300 or 300T. So it's a very wide, flat watch. But now this kind of satisfies all of the people who wanted a larger Doxa, but didn't want a total tuna can like the 1500T. So in my opinion, it's a pretty worthy successor to the original 750T. It's just a more refined version of it.
I like wearing them.
Yeah. So who is this for?
The big wrist person who wanted the bigger version of a Doxa, like the classic Doxa, but didn't want just the absolute chunk that comes with a 1500 meter depth rating. So same blueprint as the 1500T as far as like 45 mil, but it's way, way, way thicker. It's like 12 millimeters thick or something like that, maybe 11.9 or something like that. It's it's a very, very flat watch. I've never wanted a bigger Doxa in my life. My wrists are like 6.5, 6 3/4. But this wore surprisingly well for its size. It's just due to the flatness. It doesn't feel like a big, big chunky watch. It's just a large watch.
So this is the Doxa website. Yeah.
Oh no, don't do this. We're gonna be here all night if you have to go. Because they separate the different models on whether or not it comes with a strap or a bracelet. So it's like 2 times everything there's like 8 colors. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, how does one manage in the Doxa factory to control all these SKUs? This is ridiculous. And you can personalize them. And this is just the 750s. This is just the new one. There's about a gazillion SKUs on it. Let's look at the
That's
collections.
almost all of the 750s. The 750T, this new generation of it, actually debuted in the form of a Clive Cussler limited edition, I think, to celebrate what would have been his 93rd birthday and the 20th anniversary of the film Sahara, in which Matthew McConaughey wore a Doxa, an orange Doxa. So they made that one, and that's kind of how they teased out
celebrate.
this. Oh, yes. Double anniversary there. So I guess they did that one, which ushered in the new case shape, and now it's a standard production model.
Okay, so have you owned the Doxa? I'm curious about someone who's gone in, looked at all the Doxas and gone, yeah, that's the one I want. Because I've gone and looked at Doxas. I like, other than the 200s, I think they're all really nice, but then you start putting them on, you go, it's just like, how do I choose between the orange and the yellow one, between the slightly bigger one and the slightly smaller one? It's just
here's the answer.
Baffling.
You're supposed to mix
one
and match. So get every color, but not in every size. So like the small one you have in this color, the bigger one. That way, eventually, what do they have? Like 10 different colors, you're going to have at least 10 different versions of the watch you like, right? But they don't all have to be the same color. Look, I agree it's a bit weird, but they have you in mind, Rick. They're trying to tempt you away from your Panerai. Can't you feel the temptation?
See, I look at the Doxa and I'll show that I really like the silver one. I'm not sure what it's called. It's
Sea Rambler.
They'll have the Sea Rambler. I really like the Sea Rambler. I think it's very cool looking. But then I look at the Sea Rambler and I go, but yeah, the orange one's the one you're supposed to have, though, because that's the real Doxa card. But then you've got the yellow one, and I quite like yellow. So then just go, well, I'm not just going to buy any of them because I just can't make my mind up. I'm not owning 3 Doxas. I literally own one decent watch as it is. I'm not suddenly about to own 3 Doxas as part of that. So I just don't buy any of them. I don't get it. I think, just stop it.
So
just
if they had one color, you'd buy one? I mean, I don't know if that's so convincing.
It's Panerai, man. It comes in black. Yeah, of course. This is exactly what he wants. Yeah.
You know what? I think that's actually true. I think, see, if Doxa only produced the orange one, I probably would buy one. I'd certainly find it more likely that I'd go in and go, yeah, I really like that. That's cool. And not then be pulled away to go, oh, actually, the silver one's really very wearable as well. And green, who doesn't like green? And blue, Tiffany blue is all the rage right now. Yeah, I'm a bear of small brain. It's
Let's
too
get
difficult.
You the silver one.
Get the silver one.
750T is the way to go.
Now, let me understand this. If somebody wants to buy me the silver one, I'm quite happy. Yeah, so long as I don't need to make the decision myself. If somebody else makes the decision for me, then that's fine. Maybe at the end of this process, maybe what I should do is I should put up not a ransom. What would the opposite of a ransom be? I'll put £5,000 into an account and you all get to vote on how it's spent so that I don't need to make the decision and you can decide which watch it gets spent on. How about that for a strategy?
You will get something. you will.
Yes. So long as I don't get this next watch that we're going to talk about. No, I better not leave the studio. That would be bad. Clicking on the link. Although this might make me. The new release, the Tudor 1926 Luna. Just when you thought it was safe, Tudor go and do this, and goodness knows why. Anyone got any good reason for Tudor to suddenly burst into the moonphase? Go on then.
It is an optimistic sign that they are encouraged and enthused about the Asian watch market. It's finally a good sign that there's a recovery.
Right, okay. So
that's where these are sold. They've literally made it clear that's where they want to sell these.
But is that not where the Tudor
all the
Royale,
other ugly Tudors are intended for? Yes.
So give me the lowdown on why Tudor treats the Asian market differently than everywhere else, or considers
I don't know
taste
why.
is so different.
Tudor. Look, we love Tudor, but here's the thing: in the U.S., they don't want to admit that they're a tool watch brand. And in Asia, they don't want to admit that they were like a budget Rolex brand. So they've done a bunch of things to try to finagle out of that, but they haven't managed to. So in the US, they desperately don't want to look like tool watches, even though they are. And in Asia, they desperately don't want to look like baby Rolexes. So even though there has been a Rolex moonphase the last couple of years, and that Tudor could do one, that's why this happens. Look, I don't think these are particularly attractive, but again, I look at it, I'm like, that's totally not designed for me.
Is it? I've not seen any size. Is it controlled by a pusher? How's the moonphase controlled?
Nobody knows.
There's no clue. Nobody knows.
It's not at all.
It's not controlled at all. It just floats. It just rotates randomly.
It's a second hand. Another one.
Yeah. 2,800 USD. Yeah, I mean, no, thank you. Not for me, but as Ariel points out, not really built for me. It just seems really strange.
It's an aggressively low price for...
Oh, you've muted yourself somehow.
Sorry,
You're back.
It's a petite complication from Tudor. I don't know exactly what the movement is. They say it's in-house.
Yeah, in whose house?
Well, okay. Well, I mean, they have their manufacturer, Canisi. That's their place.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that they're sort of throwing in the towel on the more expensive watches, and they're admitting, people don't want, $5,000 everyday watches. So for them, I think this is, a good price level. I do love a lot of Tudors, but I have seen some terrible Tudor dress watches in the past, like the not so recent, or not the long-term past. So I'm holding my opinion for seeing one of these in person, but I'm encouraged that they think there's going to be a mainstream market in Asia. Like that's good news.
Do you think you will ever see one of these in person? Will you have a Wagamama moment like me?
I don't think I'll see it at a chain restaurant.
How much?
Maybe I will.
Yoshinoya.
How much of the Watches and Wonders Tudor booth will be dedicated to this watch?
Very little, because they're going to have new stuff by then. I kind of like the 1926 as a collection, but I kind of liked it more in the more rugged time and date executions of it. It sort of seemed kind of like the classic pre-Oyster everything era of Rolex, where it was just kind of like, it was just an Oyster date or something like that. Had an interesting dial back in 5500 Air King era. I didn't think it needed to be dressier. They have other dressier lines which aren't very exciting that they could have made a little bit more exciting by doing something with it, like a moonphase. I kind of liked that the 1926 was like a dressier version of like the Black Bay 2036, where if the Black Bay's the Explorer, this was kind of more of it would still had 100 meters, screw down crown, but I kind of liked it with like a black dial or that white dial with the blue markers better than the dressier ones. I don't think it needed to go two-tone or the diamond set or a moonphase or anything like that. But I'm curious to see these in person. I think the color palettes aren't bad at all. The blue one looks quite nice.
Okay, we'll leave it there. There's quite a lot of chat in the article, so go and check out.
People love it. Spoiler
this week, yeah. It's spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Cool. Right, it's time to play What You Like, which I'm eventually going to try and figure out how to pronounce so that it sounds like a pun on it.
I don't know what this game is.
We chose hot sauces, remember? Remember the hot sauce conversation?
Oh, that's what this game is. It's called What You Like.
That's what this game is. Now, I've not got my notebook, so before everybody else joined in, myself and Ripley tried to remember as to what was. So we had Sriracha, which you're all going to teach me how to say properly. Then we had Cholula, and we couldn't remember the third one, so we found an alternative while I was Googling Sriracha and Cholula hot sauce. So first up is for you to teach me how to say, is it Sriracha? I did a survey and everybody in Scotland adds an H.
I have a harder one for you to pronounce.
Sorry?
There's an even harder one for you to pronounce.
All right, go on then.
I don't know if it's just Israel, but they have a hot sauce they call SKUs.
Srug?
Srug?
I'm not going to ask for that on the side.
How would you stop spitting in the microphone? Would you like to send me a
another
link?
S.
How does one type that into Google?
Huh.
How would it be pronounced? Send me a link. In the meantime, here
there'd be
is
an S, a K, maybe a CH, UG.
Right. Well, here is
maybe an umlaut in there.
So,
why is that so hard for you?
Sriracha. What do you do with that second? What do you do with the first R?
Basically, don't pronounce it.
So just sir.
Yeah, Sriracha.
Sriracha. So you're mispronouncing it. You got to pronounce the R, surely.
I don't think you do.
It's more like a sure.
Sriracha. Okay, we'll go with that.
But you get like a Sriracha. You take it Italian when you say it.
You make it all weird.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, let's make it weird by deciding which watch or brand or individual model is most like Sriracha. Should just be something unpronounceable.
It's Seiko. It's definitely Seiko. Asian by origin, appropriated by largely everyone, and then now most frequently advocated by white users. I would say like this is pretty much this is like Seiko.
Let's not forget a lot of Casios are made in Thailand, though a lot of Sriracha is made out of Thailand.
Apparently, where the factory is, like all the chili processing, like it burns the neighbor's eyes, like it's kind of noxious. Yeah. There was a long legal thing surrounding it.
We had some pollution, chili pollution, and this
is it made in Thailand?
It's made everywhere. There's no point. It's easy to make, so it's like Coca-Cola.
I have a vague memory. It must be that one of these sauces is made in America and it could only be made. I thought it was Sriracha, but it's obviously not if they're calling it Thai. I mean, they had a lot of it in Thailand.
Thai Dragon. I think it was created by a guy who thought there wasn't a hot sauce like worthy of his pho, and then he made this, and the rest is history.
Well, here we go. Here
Thai
is the
Dragon.
Here is the actual website for Sriracha.
The Thai Dragon is a new addition. I don't.
Well, that Undone did a Sriracha watch, right? You know that. There actually has been a Sriracha watch. Okay.
So Undone.
It's actually not bad.
I don't know if that's how you type it. Okay, I'm getting a Google whack for that. The internet is refusing to marry that together. Let me see if I've spelled it. I don't know, I misspelled it slightly. Undone. Oh, there we go. Undone. Oh, Watch Marketplace. I'm not seeing anything other than here. Let's see the Undone Sriracha. It'll go away.
Well, here's a fun fact. I'm on their Wikipedia. It was first produced in 1932 by a native of Sriracha, S-I-R-A-C-H-A, a town and district of Thailand, though it may not have been based on older Cantonese recipes. So maybe the Sriracha is the correct pronunciation. It's a play on the town from Thailand where the creator was from.
So are we saying that I'm pronouncing it correctly?
No. In no circumstances are you ever going to be pronouncing this correctly.
Okay, so we're saying Seiko is the what you like for Sriracha sauce.
Yeah, and it's people like, it's not to the point where it's like the people who choose this over a different one are going for something specific, something distinctly Asian, where, and also it's not like, at least it's super, super common, but it's not necessarily the most obvious choice in the same way like Tabasco or Tapatio is, at least out here.
So the next up, which I'd never heard of, was this Cholula. Did
we come up with a Sriracha watch? Was it the Sriracha Seiko? I don't.
I'm saying Seiko as a whole, as a brand.
I think Seiko. I mean, I can leave the topic open, Ariel. We've got an Undone. Do you have another nomination?
While I consume a probably unhealthy amount of the sauce, I don't need to continue discussing it.
Okay, fair enough. So next up, Cholula. How is Cholula different from Sriracha? other than it's slightly easier for me to pronounce.
It's not even remotely similar.
Yeah, one's Mexican, one's Asian.
Is it?
Well, I mean there's that.
Is it hotter? Is it taste different, or is it just heat?
It tastes different. It's got a different consistency. It's got different main ingredients. It's totally different.
It's more liquidy than Sriracha, where Sriracha is almost like a kind
What's
of paste.
What's a liquidier watch?
So more fluid than a Seiko.
More
a liquidy
fluid
watch.
I mean, I don't know. You can't say Bomberg for every
maybe like Chrono Swiss.
Chrono Swiss. I mean, it has got that funny lid on it. That's kind of like the Chrono Swiss crown,
right? That lid is the crown. Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with Chrono Swiss for the mother of sauce, but it's also called the mother of sauce. What's the mother of watch?
There's not a lot of moms in this industry.
No, the mother of all watches is this so much? Is there any Breguet about this? I don't know. So like Chrono Swiss. You
mean like the Queen of Naples? But that's got a different shape. It's not red.
Okay, Ripley, you're looking quizzical.
I feel like Chrono Swiss is a little bit more off the beaten path, but Cholula's not the standard hot sauce you see out here. If it's going to be like a Mexican style, it's going to be Tapatio like 85% of the time. I'm going to go ahead and say Chrono Swiss just on the nature of the crown and the top.
Well, they have this phrase, generations of authentic flavor. Which watch brand uses the word generations too much? Generations. That
all the
feels
Swiss
like
ones?
a particularly Swiss. We do this for Vacheron Constantin. Generations of watchmakers.
They have the patrimony, and this is the mother of hot sauce.
Exactly. There we go. Vacheron Constantin is the brand for Cholula. Fight me.
I just know that Vacheron Cholula sounds right.
That's the name of some actor who's married to some musician.
Well, you know, there's like Along and Zahn.
First child is called.
What's German for daughter? It could be like Cholula and daughter.
Cholula.
Cholula and daughter.
Cholula and daughter. Somebody needs to name their kid Vacheron Cholula.
Look, there's a lady on the label. This is clearly a woman-owned brand, okay?
Okay. Which women-owned brands are there?
Abington.
Okay, so...
Is this Fiona Kruger, Cholula. I guess?
The Fiona Kruger of hot sauces. The thing is, she's Scottish.
Don't throw her into this. She's like, what are you doing?
Don't talk to me about this. Breaking New Beats is suggesting IWC. It's nice, but still common enough to find in the world. Plus, the cap on these are nice to interact with, similar to IWC pilot crowns. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I like that because you do see it out in the about. And in the same way, when I see someone wearing an IWC, it's like, oh, good on you for not just like choosing a Rolex or something. Mm-hmm. And in the same way, when I see a restaurant has this instead of Tapatio, I kind of give them the nod, like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh, this game.
You get the two fingers of Right. Remember, you can tune in to the live recording of this show on a Tuesday morning around about 7:30 UK time. If you want to take part in the chat, you can also
in the future they'll be like, remember when aBlogtoWatch ran out of topics and started comparing watches to hot sauce?
Listen, I think that this is a good take on all of those other shows that just compare watches to cars that people think everything's just compared to Porsches.
It's slightly better than like just showing a watch and be like, oh, what do you think? You like my watch? Wrist shot?
Have a
wrist roll?
Well, just you wait till the next sauce. All
Custom
I'm saying
strap.
Is
I replaced the strap.
You thought we couldn't go anywhere with this topic. While we were searching, myself and Ripley,
it's not going to get better, Ariel. Just buckle in.
Just buckle in. Fasten your seatbelts for this sauce. This is Professor... this is real, I think. Professor Fard Pounder's colon cleaner sauce. So
I got it, Urban Jurgensen.
Okay, I'm now going to Google this actual sauce and see if it is real rather than just not a
We
okay.
know there's a whole thing of novelty hot sauce. We know this is a whole world. I'm not
sharing the full
surprised.
screen for.
I don't think your
sharing,
colon will be cleansed. I think it's false advertising.
We have colon cleaner. We have sphincter shrinker. Flamin' flatulence.
Okay,
Clearly
this is
Professor
just somebody
Payne,
had fun with the names. It's all the same stuff. Looks like salad dressing.
Yeah, there's a hot sauce emporium, hot heads. There we go. From Barbados. There we have it. So, colon cleaner. Which watch brand other than Urban Jurgensen makes you think colon cleaner? Is it a cleansing thing? Like, should we be thinking this is a good thing? It's good to have your colon. I mean, you guys are from California. That's a very California thing, getting cleansing.
Oh, you think so? Yeah, we talk all about that all day. I don't know.
It's not in Scotland.
But that's what you talk about when you talk about California, which is funny.
Yes. We talk about California. We talk about lovely place to live, but earthquakes.
Why not the Professor of Payne's finest Bajan style elixir? What exactly is Bajan?
Professor
Bajan?
This is as opposed. I think is Bajan not sauce from Barbados, as opposed to Cajun, which is sauce from the Caribbean. A
describer of something from Barbados as being other than.
Let's see if
barbaric. I don't know.
Let's see Bajan. Let's Google Bajan and see where that takes us. Sasha Bajan. I don't know who that is.
That's Borat.
Yeah, Bajan.
I like that he's friendly, but his head's on fire.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm clearly dangerous. Shake my hand. No, that's not a trick.
Chives in the chat. He's suggesting Hublot as the cleansing elixir. Or
you can't drink an Hublot. You know that.
Yeah. Okay. So colon cleaner.
Except that new one coming out does look like it was designed to be swallowed.
Okay.
Or it looks like it came out, and I don't think this is Hublot. Hublot makes serious watches alongside the meme watches. They do it all. This is what is like only a meme watch brand. Like, I don't think there was a single hot sauce from Professor Fart Punder's. Well, that should say it all right there. Yeah, I don't think this is a very serious brand. What watch brand just makes like joke watches?
Does this website have like legitimate like, you know, they have like the artisan beers and stuff like that. Are there the artisan hot sauces? Because clearly this is just a joke.
So shop. Let's just focus on we're on hot-heads.com.
If there's
Alice
a celebrity
Cooper,
in there,
Mr.
no.
Nice Guy. Yeah, Alice Cooper, hot sauce.
Angry Goat. Now that has potential.
Angry Goat pepper from Phoenix.
Blair's After Death sauce.
Yeah, there is. Tequila sauce. Who knew? There's 28 pages of that. Okay, let's focus on a different. Whose website?
You're on the wrong website.
Has 28 pages of SKUs. We're back to Seiko again, surely.
Haven't you been to these stores?
Hot sauces.
They have hundreds of things and probably like 10 formulas.
This is Scotland. Is this a hot sauce vendor site? This isn't all from Mr. Fart Punder, right? This is just a general hot sauce.
Oh, the Dave's Ultimate Insanity one's pretty good. I've had a lot of these, actually. The one on the bottom, more.
Hissy Fit, Carolina
No, I don't know
Reaper.
anything about that. No stars.
No stars. Let's give us a star. Oh, is there a chat? A live chat would be fun.
Ginger Goat. I don't know about that. I like the Angry Goat, the Ginger Goat. Yeah. I want to know how many of these things have the word death in it. Or doom.
Yeah, quite a lot of them, but
or devil or something like that. It is hellfire. It's a bit redundant.
I can't seem to find a Professor Fart Pounder's actual website. He doesn't seem to sell his own goods on his own website.
Where do you think he went to school? That's what I want to know.
Not round here. Right, so what we reckoning? What's the best cleanser of a watch? Which watch do you put? Okay, here we go. When you've been to a big watch exhibition, big watch show, and you've tried on hundreds of things and written thousands of words, which watch is it that settles you back into your vibe, that cleanses you of all those things you've worn, that you just go, right, my brain is filled, my brain is mush with all these new releases. I'm just going to put on the ...
For me, that's the Apple Watch, but the Apple Watch is the one used by everybody. If everybody was using Professor Fart Punder's colon explosion or whatever, this would be a very messy world. Like, I feel like that isn't necessarily the best way to arrive at the answer here.
Okay, fair enough. Ariel, what's your ... watch?
I mean, honestly, hate to be boring. It's probably just some type of digital Casio. Just sort of like back to the basics, simple,
G-Shock.
Reliable. Like, I don't have to look at it and be like, what does that hand do? I don't understand that. Like, it's idiot proof for the most part. I have one on my desk, a new one.
Tell us about it.
It's that MRG one that has the pounded metal links.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's I guess not actually the one that you would just relax with. This
pounded Professor one. Fart Pounders. There we go. It's the MRG G-Shock. It's a Professor Fart Pounders colon cleaner is a $5,000 G-Shock. That's what it is. It's
you've just made a lot of Casio engineers very proud, very, very proud.
Cleanses the system, but at the same time, it's going to cost you $5,000. So you're gonna pay the price eventually. That's it. That's what this is. It cleanses the system, but boy, are you going to pay the price for doing it.
How much is this hot sauce? Is it expensive or not? Because if it's not expensive, I was going to say.
I don't think so.
Is that expensive for hot sauce in
Scotland?
I don't
think so. Again, and I can't stress this much, we don't use hot sauce in Scotland.
What is a luxury hot sauce? Do they have that? Is this a thing?
Well, I'm just Googling most expensive hot sauce.
What's the Richard meal of hot sauces?
I was trying to think, is this like a high-end independent meme watch brand, or is this more like a Mr. Jones style meme watch brand where it's affordable fun? Like, is this Dr. Fart Punder a lot of money to spend within the context of hot sauces?
Well, the most expensive hot sauces ever made.
I think you and whoever wrote this need to do a collab. You did the most expensive watches ever made books, did you not?
The most expensive watch is covered with the most expensive hot sauce.
Exactly. I think there's a YouTube channel and some chicken wings. That and some chicken wings. And that's it sorted. The guy who does that hot wings thing can take a run and jump.
You think that's really like weird ASMR? Watches. I just have a close-up of a watch and I just drizzle hot sauce on it. Just
Richard meal with
just do it for a few minutes.
Like, as ashamed as I'm saying to admit this, I bet that would be wildly successful. Like, people watch people cut paper or like clean dishes, all sorts of stuff, like sharpen knives.
Yeah.
Hot sauce on a watch is at
Blair's 2006 Firecracker 500 $9,000
This is a
sauce.
Jacob & Co. type of thing. They're just going for...
feels that way.
I think it goes all the way down to $500. That's a big delta.
Yeah, it goes to 9,000.
That's a big delta.
Swamp Dragon.
Who would ever drink a rum that was called Swamp Dragon? I guess actually, I do know.
It would appear that Blair's is the guy who makes the expensive hot sauces.
What?
So never heard
a
of
lot
them.
of them. Star Wars
Blair is Jacob. That within the hot sauce world, that's been established. Like, here's a $31 million watch. Here's your $10,000 hot sauce.
Why is he not having a watch collab? Norcane's got to get all over that.
Listen, I think it's the watch collab waiting to happen. Right. Okay. So did we decide in the end who
the spiciest watch case ever?
Yeah, the spiciest watch hot sauce, most expensive hot sauce ever made. The saucedapp.com is where you need to go for that. Anyway, that's quite enough of that. Right, next week we need a category. Feel free to suggest one in the chat for those that are in. Other than that, categories for next week's Watch You Like. Although I might not be here next week as a news flash, so you might be doing this all by yourselves. Or
we'll save it for you. We will save it.
Okay.
We can't do this
happen without you, Rick. This is
so the Watch You Like category for next week. I'm thinking. We've done a defunct car brands.
We do this to entertain you,
weird
Rick.
Hungarians. Golf is a thing at the moment. Congratulations, Europe. Nailak, USA. Serves you right for taking all the money. Give us a category. Fast food spots. Oh, being suggested. Fast food outlets. Yes, okay, I like that. In America, you have lots of really random fast food outlets
We just have
and brands.
lots of them. Yeah.
Give us your top 3 random fast foods. The ones I've heard of and been to. So I've heard of In-N-Out Burger, which is supposed to be really good, but I don't know. So In-N-Out Burger,
probably one of the better ones. It's quasi-regional.
And then Chick-fil-A, I've heard of. That's
very
for
religious.
Why do we think everything has a wristwatch analog, by the way?
Because we will make it fit. I think that's where it's arriving, unfortunately.
I'm doing this with a bit of protest, okay?
And then, right, name me a fast food takeaway outlet in the States I wouldn't have heard of.
Specifically American, because we have Jollibee, but that's not American.
Oh, I've never heard of it, but that'll do.
Chicken and spaghetti, and it is Filipino, I believe.
Okay,
that's what they serve there.
I'm happy to go with that.
Oh, yeah, it's we've got a few of them out there, probably more than anywhere else I've seen. I mean, we of course have the McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Whataburger. I don't know if we have actually those in California.
I would do 1990s arcade games. That might have some overlap with watches. But the fast food establishment, I can't.
No, 1990s arcade games. It's also been suggested, we'll save it for another week, is unusual trousers, jodhpurs, +4s, bell bottoms. But I'm happy to go for 1990s.
Did you say unusual trousers?
Yes, unusual trousers.
You know that the word trouser is something that Americans only see on British television, right? No one here has ever used that word.
Pants is what you wear underneath your trousers. That's pants.
Pants is what underneath?
Underneath. That's your
so
boxers.
You don't have short pants. Short pants is not a thing for you because pants are already short?
They're just called shorts. It's the UK. We don't need to add descriptors. We don't need to call it horseback riding. We can just call it horse riding because there's no one else on the horse to ride it.
Speak for yourself.
We don't need to add additional words to describe things.
What do you call you call pants, that underwear?
Pants. We just call them pants. They're just called pants, and trousers are called trousers. And if you want to wear shorts, you just wear shorts.
You know what I like? Both of them are plural for no reason.
So if you were searching for sport or outdoor specific long coverings for your legs, you'd be looking for
Bermuda shorts.
No, long coverings. They'd be trousers, snow trousers. I need paintball trousers. It'd be trousers.
Trousers. I need a pair of trousers. Now, you might describe chinos, kind of dressy trousers, or jeans.
What about overalls?
Denim trousers.
Where do you guys fall on those?
As an owner of a number of sets of overalls, I would just go and buy a set of overalls.
But you call them overalls?
Yes.
Why you have? Of course, it goes overall. Yeah.
Do you have underalls? Is that pants too?
That's your pants.
I see.
How do you differentiate between long and short pants? For long pants, when you go,
we use this. You know how we determine between long and short pants? We use the word long and we use the word short in front of the word pants.
So if I said to you, "I'm going to go change into some long pants before dinner," you would assume I'm putting on thermal underwear.
I think you're coming down in your birthday suit with some Y-fronts on. I'm leaving that dinner party is what I'm doing. I'm leaving. I'm getting my jacket and going before you expose yourself.
I spilled spaghetti sauce on my pants, I ruined my pants. You're just going he's
your
eating.
Your tighty
He's
whities are ruined. He's sitting there with a bottle of Buckfast. Circa whatever watch brand we associated with that, with spaghetti down his undercrackers. Yes. Anyway, this show has taken, without even David's assistance, a bad turn. Let's bring it back to some watches, please, Lord. Let's bring it back to some watches. We will. I can't actually find.
You know what happened? It was bringing up fast food. It's always a bad idea.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we're going to arcade games. Give me your 3 arcade games, Ariel. 3 arcade games.
Okay, I just went to an arcade, so it's all on my mind. I don't remember when they all came out. We got to do Mortal Kombat. That's got to be one.
Okay, Mortal Kombat. Okay.
I'm trying. So specifically 90s. Geez.
Boomer ones.
I mean, there's Street Fighter 2. Everyone knows that one, but there's only 8,000 versions of it. I think they actually eventually made Street Fighter 3 through 6 or whatever.
Okay.
I'm not going to go all of them. Ripley, come on. There's got to be someone.
Pac-Man?
No, that's
Defender?
80s. Also not 90s.
It's being questioned that we're actually now the Wrong Trousers Watch Show, which I think will probably be the title of this episode, The Wrong Trousers.
Well, let's not piss off Wallace and Gromit.
DDR, Deep Sea Hunter. What's DDR?
Dance Revolution.
Okay, DDR it is then. So DDR, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter 2
There was
quite
just
similar.
I wanted to mention a racing game, but there was no
Frogger,
one definitive.
Sega Rally is being mentioned. Sega Rally?
Also not 90s.
When did
Actually,
Mario?
some of them did.
Oh, that's not an
Frogger?
arcade game.
It
Okay,
eventually
come on,
became
chat.
an arcade game.
We're relying on you, chat, and a 90s car racing game in arcades. What there was the original
There was a
ones, but I
lot.
can't
I
remember
just
the call.
don't remember
There's a lot.
the
One of them
one.
will be called F1. We'll find out, and we'll find out for the chat next time. Okay, let's do some actual watches. Let's do some
Oh,
hitting
that's
this
still a
maybe.
thing?
It's still a thing doing watches.
We
Let's do some
didn't
hitting this maybe.
permanently pivot to pants. Sorry, trousers.
Pants and hot sauce.
Trousers
That's what
and
it is
hot
from now on.
sauce.
If anyone would like to write us a theme
Every
tune
week,
for
just trousers
Outrun.
and hot
There
sauce.
we go. Outrun is being suggested as the... Yeah, that was 90s, wasn't it? Outrun?
That might have been 80s, but I know.
So when I
remember
say I've
Outrun.
got to go get my pants tailored, you're just thinking I'm there at the tailor's having them like adjust some boxers.
Ridge Racer. There's another one being suggested.
Okay.
Right, okay. Thank you, chat. We will make a show out of that somehow because we can make out a show of very little on this particular podcast. Right, before we go any further, Ariel, what's on the wrist? Where are you? What you doing?
I'm in Los Angeles. I actually happen to be wearing a Chrono Swiss. This is the Opus
very good.
Chronograph Purple Rain, which is
The Cholula
called
of
that.
watches.
The Cholula of watches. If Cholula was purple, there's sort of there's no purple one.
Okay.
This watch is the purple version of the Opus Chronograph, which is pretty nice.
Cool.
41 millimeter titanium purple.
Is there a reason
Very
it's
nice.
purple?
Yes.
They refuse to share that reason, though. But there is a reason. It's
Has nothing to do with sunrise.
Because it can be.
sunrises.
Because with this process, you have blue. They've done that. You have purple. They've also done that. You have sort of an unhealthy looking yellow. I don't know if they want to do that. The brown does not look great. So purple and blue is basically what you got
Yeah. They just
with this
decided that
particular process.
unlike Grand Seiko, they just decided to put in the text, we just like purple.
I respect that.
I would respect that. Grand Seiko, just say somebody in the office just decided they liked it and they might sell a few of them. That would be fine. Someone is asking, Chives is asking if you're a goth, in fact, Ariel in the chat wearing a
The
purple
AI is asking
watch.
if I'm a goth. Do I
The
answer?
AI,
the AI?
You can answer the AI.
I need my own AI, like an AI pet to answer other AIs. I'm gonna go with yes. I'm
An Ariel,
definitely a goth.
an
Yeah.
Ariel AI. Okay,
Super
Ripley,
goth.
what are you wearing?
Well, I just took off a G-Shock and put on an Apple Watch so it would tell me when you opened the room that we could sit down and record.
Oh, right, okay.
So not exciting, but this is what I was wearing.
Cool. Very nice. And what's the hat? That looks like a Brodinky hat.
Yes, Brodinky.
Is Brodinky still a thing? Is he still going? Or is the algorithm just not presenting me with his...
That's a
fun
good question.
and
We can go look
frolics?
this up. I'm sure. I mean, maybe. I feel
Brodinky.
like I would have seen
He's not-
something.
Yeah, he's not the hero we want. He's the hero we deserve. Is that the phrase? I don't know. Chives is disputing he is a
yes,
sentient
he is.
man.
20 hours ago, he posted something on his story about it. It looks like Otani and Seiko.
Okay, why don't you take a photograph of you on this podcast wearing a hat and copy it as up? Right, okay, so take a photo. Can you do a screenshot of us recording while you're wearing the hat on your Instagram account and post it to him and see if we get a reply? Maybe a kind of live replies to Instagram. That could be a thing.
This is the most This can't be the most efficient way to do this. This is a terrible way.
Right. Okay. Well, while you're worrying about terrible way of doing things, we're gonna go. There we go. We'll all point at it. So we point at the hat. Ariel, point at the hat. You're on mute, but point at the hat.
No. It all points at different directions. Rick, you're pointing
to We're sending it to Brodinski.
No one's pointing at it at this point.
Not working. Not working.
Looks good to me.
Can I put you on full screen? I could do a layout change. So I think I can put you in the middle. No, that's you on the outside. That's you a little thing in the corner. That doesn't work.
Rick was desperately trying to save the direction of the show, but it was going nowhere.
Trying to save that. Yeah, we were going. Right, let's talk about this watch for Hit Miss Maybe. Ariel, the Versace V Contempo GMT.
Yeah, people did not love this.
No,
but I love the wine-colored dial, you know.
Yeah.
Every good watch starts with a claret-colored dial.
Tell us about Versace and watchmaking.
Well, they started Veritime, so they actually started a company to make watches, which then got purchased by Timex, who still makes watches for them. And they've had a lot of good stuff. They wanted me to know that Taylor Swift was wearing one of their female watches earlier this week. And boy, did they send a lot of emails about that. No, I think it was just 2 emails. Was not this watch. I just wanted to see how they would interpret a Bell & Ross. That's really what I was curious about.
Now we know. Now we know.
You know what do you think bothered me the most on this?
The date window.
Yeah. I know the people at Timex that design watches. They're very good. They're very modern. Like, was Versace like, no, we know it sucks, but do it anyways? And the Timex people are like, no, don't make me. And they're like, you still want this contract? They're like, fine.
We're paying you to do what you're told.
I just don't see why that part of it was necessary. In fact, I don't know why the date was necessary at all, to be honest. That would have been great to go. I did not dislike this watch. I just found it interesting. The people that get these will like them, but it's easy to make fun of this as a watch lover because you can sort of see where they were coming from. So it's not bad in a vacuum, but if you're a watch enthusiast, it's kind of amusing here. But again, combining Versace and I don't know, sort of pilot style GMT. I mean, you would have been intrigued too, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, it would have been something. I'm getting doctor thingy sphincter removal stuff from earlier. Maybe this is anyway. Let's give it a vote. Is it a hit, a miss, or a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. I'm giving it a maybe. Ripley is giving it a maybe. 3 maybes. Ripley, why is it a maybe from you?
Well, it's not a hit. But this is, compared to some of the other stuff that this brand has put forward in the wristwatch department, this is by no means the most defensive. It kind of looks like one of those, like a Bell & Ross mixed with an Octo Finissimo, but there's nothing Finissimo about that. That's a thick looking one. But all things considered, this is, I think, a positive direction for Versace's watches. This isn't bad looking. That date window is not it for this watch. But all things considered, there's no gold. I don't steps like the usual thing they've got. This seems fine, and I like wine, so wine dial. Why not?
Is there a possibility that Versace could become a watch brand of note? Or are they just going to occasionally produce things like this? Do they have ambitions to be a Bulgaria, a fashion house that's also into watches?
I think they could. I don't think they want to. I think that when you're a fashion house, you make a specific decision about where your watches are going to be located in the market. And you know that it's easier to sell more low-priced watches in most instances. It's smarter for them. And these are not cheap. I mean, Versace, their mechanical watches, they go up to I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000. I think I forgot this one was probably close to 2,000 or something like that.
It's 2 something, I think.
Yeah.
Quick
So
scroll down the article will tell us.
But they're still significantly cheaper, $2,150. So but they're still significantly cheaper than, I guess you could say, a lot of the the more popular Swiss-made brands. So they're trying to look legitimate, but also undercut. And this used to be the way that most accessories were at watch brands. Their sunglasses, fashion brands, their sunglasses, their watches were priced lower than the clothing and things like that. This is, I don't know, I think it's a little bit more complicated, the positioning, but I think that they're happy at this price level. I don't think that they would go higher. I think they're looking to sell a large volume. And my understanding is they actually do sell a pretty healthy volume of watches. So I think that it'd actually be much more difficult for them to sell watches at a higher price point.
Rick, scroll back up. What was that colossal
I know, I'm now, for those of you watching on video, and I suggest you do, I'm now on the Versace watches website. The Versace Real
How did they spell
Active
millennium
Chrono
there?
Watch. Where am I looking? A millennium with a Y. As in, why have we made this watch? Boy, some of these are honking.
Millennium.
Millenniummy. This is... Yeah. Okay, I take back any suggestion that I thought Versace could be trying to become a serious watch brand. This is
What
like
do you mean?
Invicta. This is like Invicta for people with even less taste and even more money.
As I said, this is a
17
sign of good
Morphes.
health for the brand. This is better than
This
a lot
is
of their other stuff
horrible.
I've seen from them recently. This
Yeah, okay,
is
so, yeah.
yeah,
this
this
is
is should be
horrible.
I
seen.
choose the best of the Versaces for you guys. You know
that's
that.
true. That's true. That's true. Yes, you did. What is that? The Greca Time GMT watch?
That's
Good
pretty
grief.
straightforward. That'll be a good watch for you on the farm. A little quartz GMT
I
action
think-
going on.
Yeah, I think a $1,300 gold-plated GMT Versace watch is just the vibe for tractor driving. Anyway, there we go.
Well,
So
I still wear, they have a black ceramic. I think they also make it in blue ceramic watch that's sort of the competitor of the Chanel J12.
Is that
I
not
wear
this,
that thing.
the
I like it.
V-dome?
No, that's...
this.
I don't think that's ceramic. Maybe it is. Actually, check to see that material. But it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
that watch.
size
It's
of
called like
that.
the one. The one
Current
man.
timepiece.
One man.
Aluminium. No, this is more a Bulgari type competitor.
What is a
Versace.
V-dome? Is anything there domed at all?
No, I
let's-
just think of
let's not ask
Vendome,
questions.
like the
Which is in a
restaurant.
different city.
Vivo and Dome. Hey, it's all Panerai at the end. It's Panerai all the way down.
Is the ceramic
Uh,
one even there? It's got to be there somewhere.
I don't see anything that looks ceramic, I have to say. Everything looks...
Look, I have a soft spot for this brand. I'm not going to convince anyone that they need to love them
No,
if
you're
they
not.
don't. I don't like all their stuff, but it's just exciting to me how much they do what they want to do. I like them. And again, same people that make it, like Philip Plein. Again, same people that design Philip Plein, same people that make it. We like the weirdness. If it was several times as much money, we wouldn't talk about it at all. But it's at the price point that, like, I guess regular people could have. And I feel like I want to, as much as we make fun of some of those, I want to see more of those on people's wrists. I'd rather see that than a lot of other stuff.
Okay, well, here's some other stuff for our next hit miss, maybe. The David Candaux DC12 Maverick with a capital K. Well, I think that should just be an instant red card, is putting capital letters in random places. But it's certainly a different watch. Ariel, this looks like your wrist, so this looks like a hands-on. Yes, it is a hands-on with the David Candaux DC12 Maverick watch. Why has it got a capital K?
Yeah, that part I don't know. And I had David at my house. I actually shot this watch at my home.
All right, okay.
And,
He
we
couldn't
didn't
tell
get
you
that
either.
part of the conversation.
All right,
I
okay.
like this watch very,
Yeah,
very
that's cool.
much. So the DC12 has a new movement, and it's a double balance wheel system with a differential. This is less expensive than a tourbillon, but ultimately more accurate for wristwatch wearing. You have two balance wheels with a new system that he created as a shock absorber, and they sort of average each other out. Manually wound, just the time. But what I like about it is that it sort of looks like a tourbillon, but it's not a tourbillon because as it's exposed subsidiary seconds at 12 o'clock. Interesting case. He has this crown, which you can call it a lot of funny things. To him, he was inspired by, like a pen where like you click in, click out. That was his inspiration for that. He calls it the magic crown, which I think is amusing. But this watch is, I think it's really, really lovely. 98,000 Swiss francs is the price. So that's like a new quote unquote low entry level for him. But everything is meant to go together. The case, the dial, the movement, it's all sort of unique. It's all new stuff. It's also very lightweight and relatively comfortable on the wrist, right? It's actually very comfortable and it's pretty diminutive. So I like this watch very, very much. It's not to everyone's taste, but if you're into independent watchmaking and want everything from a novel movement to a novel design, that is very much sort of Swiss in its technique and how it's made and all that, even though it looks differently. This is cool. This is, just sort of a special watch.
Okay, let's give it a hit and miss, or maybe 1, 2, 3. Trying to find his hit sign. Go. Hit. Is the case articulated, Ariel? I was trying to tell.
No, it doesn't need to be.
No, it is a solid case. It just with the way that the lugs are, as if it was a bit, kind of pivoted round the middle to make it more comfortable.
It's not that big of a case. It looks bigger than it is in pictures. It's not that big. You can see on my wrist, like it wears well.
Yep, and the chat looks a bit MBM, MB and F-ish. Yes, I suppose it does. Ripley, why is it hit for you? Yeah, I think it's just an unusual shape. Maybe it looks like one of those. It has a kind of, the MB and F ones with the globe sticking out the side. I know that this is smooth, but I think it gives that kind of vibe. Maybe it's just a blue strap.
I don't see it, but okay.
Okay, fair enough. Ripley, hit pourquoi?
I mean, like Ariel said, it does a lot of things well, and it's just different. I like that it's this different, and they didn't just completely water it down to be their like quote unquote entry level model. I mean, with this price, it's kind of hard to call it entry level, but with respect to their catalog, it's nice that it still seems like a very cohesive product. It's not, you don't feel like this is just kind of an off the shelf thing that they're doing to fill a SKU for a lower end offering within their lineup. It feels like a very cohesive, well-considered product, very different, unique case shape, all kind of goes well. I like that weird crown. It kind of reminds me of that one on that like $50,000 Omega Aquaterra where it comes out on the side. But on that one, it was because sprinters are going to wear it and we don't want it digging into their hand. We'll just tell the sprinter not to wear the watch. You guys make the timing equipment anyway, like he doesn't need to wear one. It makes a lot more sense because it's for the purposes of preserving this profile. There's a reason for it to be there rather than innovation to justify the price tag. So I think it's cool. I think it's quite nice. I kind of like that they're doing something below $100,000 too. That's not something that you could say about that brand up until this point.
Yeah, I also realised that much like Sriracha from earlier on, I've been adding an L to his name. So it's pronounced David Candaux. How do you pronounce his name?
Candaux? What you added an L? Like
where did you put the
Candle?
I think I've been adding Candalo for forever. I'm not sure why. So apologies. Is he David or David?
He didn't correct me when I called him David, but
okay. But it's David Candaux or Candaux.
I think he's more going to be more annoyed at the Candelo or Candle.
Candles. David Candaux. Dave Candles. There we go. Davy boys. Well, I love it. I think it's a great watch. So maybe you'll forgive me if I say that his watch is very nice. It kind of has the vibe that there's going to be. I don't know if it's his particular vibe, but this feels like there could be a diamond, a slightly more diamond encrusted version of this.
You want more jewelry? Okay, gold. So white gold with diamonds.
I feel this might respond well to some white gold and diamonds. Within I don't know what you would call it. It's a kind of like a racetrack like a velodrome. Velodrome? That way? Yes, that word sounds wrong. Where you race bicycles.
Because the side is banked and you think that...
Yeah, because the bank track right on the side, that just feels like it would lend itself to some diamonds. But no, it's a very nice watch indeed.
I mean, his accountant loves you right now. Yes, more precious materials. We like.
You can add as many L's to my name as you like. It turns out, so there we go. Right, let's find a watch to finish on this week. Ooh, we have some choices. What shall we choose? We've already spoken about the Tudor. We've spoken about the Doxa. I think we will go to something more. No, let's go to this. It's gone. The Timex.
Oh, good.
Yeah. If I can find the article, it has vanished for a brief moment. But Ariel, this was your article on a Timex Atelier watch, which I'm still trying to find the article. It's on page 2. There we go. Hands-on debut, Swiss-made Timex Atelier Marine M1A. Here we are. What to make of this?
I don't know if we lost Frank. Oh, there he is.
Oh, no, I am here. I seem to be take over screen share. There seems to be something going a bit skew with the screen sharing. There we go. There we have it. The hands-on debut Swiss-made Timex Atelier Marine M1A watch. Is this a new vibe from Timex?
Yeah, so this Timex Atelier is going to be a whole new sub-collection. And within Timex Atelier are going to be where their Swiss-made watches are going to be. They're not all going to have the same movement. I already know what the watch coming out after this is. It's similar. It's a slight variation on this. And it's unclear exactly how many watches will come out, what the production is going to be. This is the evolution of the Giorgio Galli collection. So Giorgio Galli is the designer who works at Timex. He does a lot. He runs the whole license program. So all the stuff for Ferragamo, Versace, Philipp Plein, he oversees all that. And he had the Giorgio Galli watches. They made a few of them. There was the S1 and the S2 and some various sub-versions of each. And the last version of the Giorgio Galli S2 had a titanium case and bracelet that was very similar to this case and bracelet. This is steel. It's half the price of the Galli that was in titanium. And what's cool about the bracelet is you can like literally with your fingers pull apart the links, pivot the outer one, and then remove the link. So you can adjust the bracelet without any tools of any kind. It works honestly pretty well. I don't know, if that's something they'll be able to mass make or anything like that. The overall profile of this watch to me is definitely the mold of the Rolex Submariner. It's 41 millimeters. But the actual watch that it reminded me most, not necessarily from a pure visual style, but from a personality style, because they both sort of were a take on the Submariner, was the original Bremont Supermarine. Which I loved.
50 fathoms, right? Okay.
No, the original Bremont Supermarine has, again, it does not look exactly the same, though the coloring is very similar. But for me, it is trying to take what was popular with the Submariner and do their own take on it and make it very elegant. That was the thing. The original Supermarine, not the most recent Supermarine, but the original Supermarine. I think it was called the later called the S300. This one, this was a really great watch overall. It's comfortable. It looks good. They claim to have an enamel dial. It is a very nice deep black dial. Domed black ceramic rotating bezel. Really good lume. The lume is very even, very good. The only part of this watch, which is, I guess, the thing that people have talked about the most, is the movement. And it's a movement by a company called Catena. Look, it's basically a mostly Chinese parts, technically Swiss made. There are others like that. it's a budget movement. You know, it's supposed to operate okay, but it's not a glorious movement. And a lot of people are like, why didn't you just put like, you know, a Salida or something in there? Why the Catena? I don't know the answer to that. It's got not a huge amount of power reserve. I'd say it's about 36 hours of power reserve, which is probably the weakest part of it. I think it's going to be okay for most people. Timex can obviously improve that later. They really, I mean, this watch on a strap is under $1,000. On a bracelet, it's I think $1,050. It's really a good value given what you're getting. If you just don't see Timex as being a luxury brand, that's fine. What I think Timex is doing, who this watch is for, is today's entry-level enthusiasts who want to get a lot of bang for their buck. And this is what I call a Reddit darling. Reddit will just sort of really like something like this. It won't be for everyone, but if you're just getting into watches and you want to sort of have that, I guess, pseudo Rolex, you know, a Submariner experience, but with a sort of different personality, this is a good option. And this is, you know, low enough priced, good, well enough spec to very much compete with the Seikos of the world, very much compete with whatever is being offered by the Swatch Group at, you know, Hamilton and Tissot and Certina and like that. So I thought this is overall strong. This is not for everyone. And I hope I explained what Timex Atelier is.
Cool. So is it a hit? Is it a miss? Is it a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. Hit. And maybe from Ripley.
An upside down, maybe.
An upside down, maybe.
A maybe.
I like a lot about it. I would just need to see it in person. I like that Timex is doing this. I think it's sort of important for them to stretch their legs a little bit from the price point perspective and not just sequester themselves to an absolute bottom dollar brand, because they can and they have the resources to do more interesting stuff. I think this is a really interesting bracelet. I want to play with the mechanism to see how secure that is or what's actually holding the links together. But I like that they've sculpted out the sides. It just looks a little bit different than your standard like flat 3-link oyster style. I like how they've checked a lot of similar boxes. Bezel with the domed black bezels kind of reminds me of a Blancpain. A lot reminds me of a Sub. Other bits and pieces you could kind of pull from other vintage divers, but it's not. It doesn't look like any one specific one. I think where again, it would really just come down to the movement's not great. Sure, that's, you know, I think everyone would rather have a Salida. This could have this could have, you know, that could be related to their plans for bespoke movements or something like that. So I'm not going to really put too much weight on that. I really would want to see some of these in the metal, though. I like a lot about it. There's clearly a lot going on with the case lines, but at that price point, you're kind of coming into a lot of pretty decent watches. If you took $1,000 thereabouts and went to Seiko, you're looking at a lot of those like 62 ish ones. You could probably get one on a bracelet for roughly the same price, and that's a really great watch. If you wanted less money for a Seiko at half the money, you can have like the turtles and stuff. So I think that's, for me, it would really just come down to how it hits in the metal, but I like everything else about it. I like that even Timex is going this route with an expensive product. It just, that is now becoming a really, really competitive price point. All the micros, but then you have those big names like Citizen and Seiko sitting there that really, really kill it at that $1,000 price point or less.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if it gets the vibe to sell at that price point, but certainly a good looking watch. And decent bang for the buck, I believe. So that is us for this week. Thank you all very much for joining in, especially those who have chosen to join in live on the chat. You will be able to, if you go to their aBlogtoWatch Weekly Live YouTube channel, be able to see some of the preamble that doesn't make the main show and some of the post-match that also doesn't make the main edit. So we will maybe see you there, or we will see you again in a week or so's time. But from the main show, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Goodbye from the main show.
See you at the after party.
After party starts now. Goodbye.